Hello, we're back with this, the brand new Lexus RX, a car we've already done, but we're doing it again because it's so good. This one is the facelift, and instead of the two lights at the back, you now get a single very attractive LED. And the front has been redesigned too, with an all-new spindle grille and this hammerhead-inspired shark design front, which is, yeah, quite sharky. Not much has changed inside except the most important part, which is this, the control center, which we will dive into. But the big news is this one, the 450H Plus, which has an 18 kilowatt hour plug me in element giving you 50 miles of electric only range, 235 miles to the gallon and 304 horsepower.
But why would you bother making a plug-in version if you're already the best in the world at making hybrids that you don't plug in? Have Lexus cut corners with this like some car companies? How quiet is it? Which one should you get? And can anyone on planet Earth afford one?
With me as Chancellor.
A quick look on Leasing.com gives me this much information. I mean, look at all these deals on here. 350H is the hybrid. It's just an engine and a battery. It's the cheapest one. And then if you've got courage, you can go for the 500H. Hello, America, by the way. It's a V6 petrol.
Cash price is 62 grand, which is 12 grand more than this rather nice flat in Barnsley. It's 7 grand cheaper than the X5, 11 grand cheaper than a GLE, and 12 grand cheaper than a Range Rover Sport.
And compared to those cars, if you're concerned about road noise, this is probably the quietest. I read somewhere that this was right up there with the Rolls-Royce. Don't know, haven't had a Rolls-Royce. It's the quietest car I've had. Now, we love the Touareg. We said the Touareg was the quietest car ever. This is quieter than that. A lot of that is to do with a thing called the Tazuna cockpit. It's all to do with serenity. Quiet, less road noise, nice things you touch. Tazuna in Japanese means of the horse, reins of the horse. It's not very horsey. Look at the way these windows open and close, look. So it starts off normal and then it slows down. That's a small thing for me, but that every day I just open and close these windows. Starts off normal, slows down. Who at the factory decided we need stress-free opening and closing of windows?
Speaking of horses and what they eat, there's also a Hey Lexus command. Sorry. If you're prepared to start a sentence with the word hey, that is, you can ask the car to give you directions to turn things on and off, but the real dialogue, though, is between you and the car, the weight reduction, its poise, and rigidity.
Some of this is the special under-engine covers that have little dimples which create vortices for airflow to make the car feel more stable, lower and connected to the road. And then further back along the car, the surfaces, very much like an electric car, are flat, giving you even less vibration and more aircraft kind of engineering. They're also very famous for spending a lot of time on things like the indicator sound, the damping sound of the fans. They care about how the fans sound, right? And when you open and close the door, there's more beeps. That wasn't a very good one. It's a very good thud. And they actually spend time with sound designers working out what kind of tone they want. They look at the frequencies and go, no, take it back, that's the wrong, there's too much 5K on there. It's these little things that all add up. When you know the story behind the product and the passion that's gone into it, yes, it's still commercialized, but in many cases it's a bit of an art. It's a bit like an Apple box. They've thought about it.
From special sound deadening mastic in the roof lining to millimetre sharp wind noise considerations and the actual materials used. In essence, the RX is supposed to make you feel at ease with the world. Getting in it is supposed to be soothing and create a sense of well-being, that you've done okay. And even if you haven't, well, that's okay too.
Just going to go through it again with you. So obviously this is the 450H. It has a 2.5 litre 4-cylinder engine, which is really quiet, and then you've got the plug-in element which lasts 40 or 50 miles. I I don't know, maybe 35, 40 at the moment. But the good thing about that is that when you've depleted that sort of silent battery, you then go on to normal hybrid. So this is kind of like hybrid, yeah? And that is interesting. We may as well mention, if you have got tall people you want to carry and you're like a business, you can have, this is like proper, you can go to proper corporate events in this. CEO in the front, CFO, then you've got middle management probably in the back.
Do you know what? You can never have enough middle management. I love it when they go on LinkedIn and they put their awards on. Fascinating. Speaking of work, this has 29 grams of CO2. That's about £1,000 company car tax per year. Not much, considering it avoids the riffraff. Insurance is £657 a year, and that is because it's invisible to thieves, because they can only recognise certain shapes and small words.
Bit of full disclosure now on the driving. So I thought the last one was a bit heavy. They've done something here to make it feel less heavy, although it is still heavy. This is 2,800 kilograms. That's possibly one of the heaviest cars I've ever driven. It does an okay job of it, but what it does is it encourages you to drive more mindfully. Like, there's no need to go hurling around corners, right?
Good evening.
It's serene. You can have a variable independent wheel suspension as an option, and to save you money you might not need it, because this is running on the standard springs at the front, multi-link at the back, and this feels like air suspension. It is so soothing. Any noises you hear, which are not very many, are mitigated by the fact that this just feels amazing to drive. Then you've got the safety, always looking out for cyclists and pedestrians, and you can't reverse in a car park if someone's in your blind spot. It's scary when that goes off, and when that works, it does work. And all the scanners really give you that nice sense of, it's all right, mate, it's all right. But if you're looking for a Cayenne kind of handling experience, or dare I say, something like an X5, you're not going to get it. Nothing like any of those cars. In fact, this is rather like driving planet Earth.
And there's more. This is called Omnitashi Hospitality. It's basically interior mood selecting that is designed to create a coloured atmosphere without over-egging it and making it all chintzy and over the top. It will obviously park itself, and you can get out and park it with your phone. No, you won't use that.
Adaptive cruise is standard, of course, as you would expect on a car like this. It's very subtle the way it works. I love the way that when the car slows down, even if you can't even see it with your eyes, this car knows that that car is slowing down. It's very good. The only thing I would love, if they could do it over the air, would be great, would be the variable speed limit assist adaptive cruise that Teslas are supposed to do. I've never seen it working in a Tesla. America just going to flame me now. I've never seen it working. It's supposed to do it, but it doesn't. Anyway, you do get a beep now if you're speeding. That's law and annoying, but a beep, A, is safer than you having to keep checking like this on a smart motorway. Right, have I been done for speeding? 40, 60, 50, 30, 20.
Back on to anyone on the planet being able to afford it. Well, there is an interesting theory here, and that comes down to the 10-year warranty. It goes like this.
Let's just say you were going to keep something like this for 10 years. Not suggesting that you would keep the car for 10 years, but if it's this well put together, you kind of might. Then if you imagined, and this is unlikely, that at the end of the 10 years, you don't want any money back. You don't want any money back for the asset. That would work out over the 10 years as £6,000 a year in devaluation. You're probably paying more than that now, aren't you, for a lesser car?
The 10-year warranty is not just amazing for you, but for the person who comes after you. And because this has a battery, you can enjoy all the good stuff without all that worrying business. And 612 litres of boot space and loads of headroom, you're getting on for kind of X5 levels of practicality, and it's probably twice as refined.
This was interesting. A lot of people were talking about the Mark Levinson sound system being really quite unbelievably bad. I don't think it is, and I think they might be referring to the previous generation RX. I haven't really been impressed with the sound systems, particularly in Lexus, and that is a shame, but this one's all right because you've got 3 drivers at the front, and that's important because you've got to have the speakers nearest your ears. There's a center speaker, 2 left tweeters at the front, mid-range tweeters, and then medium drivers in the doors, and then there's a sub, which is probably too small, in the back. And I think the sound is okay. It's fine, it's acceptable. If you went for the Mark Levinson, that sort of positioning might facilitate good sound. But double check, because the last thing you want to do if you're into music is go, oh no, my sound system's rubbish in my 70 grand car. Top 3. Oh, okay. Serenity, number 1. Number 2, the feeling of this steering wheel. And I'm going to go with the ride. You just feel like dropping off. Every time you drive this, you feel like dropping off.
Even though it weighs more and is bigger than most oil rigs, it is noticeably a better car than the last RX, and that was already good. I'd put this easily ahead of the new Touareg and up there alongside the very best that the Swedish and the Germans have on the table. For class though, it's probably this, isn't it?